All right, Solana, Fantom, and Dogecoin alternative market leaders in the very strong large cap altcoin market. This is going to be a price analysis, which is what this channel mostly covers, as opposed to fundamentals. So new viewers, if you're new to this channel, you probably see a bunch of fundamental videos. What I cover in these is so that you have a greater expectation of your bags that you're holding. And if you're clicking around with your money, this helps give you a strong idea of what to expect, so you can have more confidence as you click around with your money on an exchange. So with no time to waste, if you all could take a quick moment, returning viewers, new viewers, take a quick moment to stop, drop, and do what the sign says, please. This is going to help me keep producing free content for you here on YouTube. And with no time to waste, let's get after it here. If I can turn that taken sign off, there it is. So let me make my face back small. And Solana, guess what it did during this flash crash? Not only did it have a V-shaped recovery, but as it did, where did it go up to? That origin line that I drew in the last video. So the very last video, I'll link that up here. You should see it popping up somewhere, and it might have already popped up earlier in this video, but go to my recent Solana and Fantom video without Dogecoin in it. I drew that line and I said, hey, it's probably going to come up and hit this line, which it has done. So before a downturn. But Solana as a market leader, I mean, this crash got bought up very aggressively. So what the altcoin market and an altcoin market leader like Dogecoin, Fantom, and Solana are saying, it looks like there's a decent chance that continuation to the downside is not going to happen. So I mean, this just looks like there are too many buyers, and the sell pressure has subsided for the most part, and pretty much a lot of people just became sideliners because they got scared, and it's just a matter of time. So as time moves on, could be a day, could be 5 days, those sideliners will return to be buyers again. And the three types of people in a market are sideliners, buyers, and sellers. Out of those three groups of people, so a lot of buyers just became sideliners. However, I think the sell pressure just became very small. So I think there's going to be not much volume in the market here for a little bit, and then when the volume does tick up, more on a 4-hour basis. I think there recently has been a lot of volume, but moving forward, I think that a lot of people being in sideliners, you might see less volume in the market over the next, I don't know, the rest of this week, the next 5 days. That would be a guess. So I wouldn't be surprised if Solana hangs out somewhere in a range. I'm not for sure if it'll be a horizontal, or it might be a horizontal range within these origin lines. And again, if you want to see these origin lines, how I drew them, I actually explained how I did in my last video, so go check that out. Solana might chill out in this range for a bit, is what I would suspect. Let me go to the daily chart, though. It might come all the way down to this box. So my low end target for Solana, in terms of a daily closure or a candle, you know, on the 4-hour chart closing down here, closure, I would say 149. I would suspect that Solana does not spend much time below this origin line. And however, what I do suspect is that it might use it as, it might check it and test it. So what Solana might do here, actually, if I can make a second guess, so new viewers also in my channel, I don't just make one guess. I tell you, you know, the top 3 most probable ways I think price might move. I think price might do this. I think you might get a triangle out of this, because I think that origin line is going to hold it up. But I also, as this line holds it up, I also don't know if there's going to be enough buy pressure, per my thought earlier that I said I don't think there's going to be much volume the next 5 days because there are too many sideliners, if I had to make one guess. So congruent to that guess, you would have higher lows, but also you're not going to have enough buy pressure to make higher highs above this area. So I think an ascending triangle might happen. That honestly might be the most probable thing. I would say second most probable is that you form a horizontal channel and still maybe go sideways for a little bit. Horizontal channel between here and here, like so you have a lot of overlap. So my first and second most probable scenarios have a ton of overlap in price action right here in this area. So that's a ton of overlap. And then I think third most probable is that Solana comes below the origin line to retest this prior high and to base off of it for a few hours, maybe not days, few hours. So maybe several hourly candles just chilling, then starts going back above the origin line here. So I don't think Solana will spend much time below this origin line as of now. And I think most of the altcoin market will be indicative of it. So these three most probables are based on the one base assumption that recovery from this flash crash will happen. I want to be very specific. So I just gave you the three most probable things that I think Solana will do under one specific premise, that recovery happens sooner than later from this flash crash, that this was a flash crash and that will not get continuation to the downside. When the charts tell me that continuation to the downside is now likely, okay, I will then update my three most probables. I'm not flip-flopping. I'm doing what the charts tell me are most probable at that juncture, right? So there are multiple junctures within how price moves, and at each juncture, I reassess what my top three are. All right, so let's go to so those are my top three for now. Could they change in 5 days? Could they change tomorrow? Absolutely. They could change tomorrow. However, as of right now, that's what they are. So most of you know over my last two analyses, my videos on this, that I think Fantom's out of steam, and it's so close to this anyway that it might pop up here, but then it's going to consolidate for quite a while. So let's measure down. I wouldn't suspect anything more than like 30% at most. So get my bearing straight. So I would say downside targets would be 30% below in terms of daily closures, right? So you might have days closing down here before a move up, right? So I would say that this would form a base of support on Fantom, and that level is at $1.32.5. So 1.324. 1.32. So because on a percentage basis, I don't think it's going to go much below there. And you have these 4-hour supports here. 30%. Actually, let me measure how big this move up. It honestly, that might be my mid target, because this got really aggressive and I think it's out of steam. This might correct 50%. With or without Bitcoin flash crashing. Damn, that's over. Yeah, that's gonna be a mid high target. That just did over 1,000% run. And my rule for that is 55% minimum. I mean, so I think Fantom's going to come back down, dip under this origin line, come back up. So I think a low end target is 85 cents. If you can be patient enough to try to scoop it there, you have a okay shot, maybe 33% chance that does happen statistically, which is a really good chance in trading. And so if you have Tether on the sidelines and you're looking to pick up more of this, instead of trying to buy a discount now, you might reserve some of that, lock them up in a limit buy order, and just go ahead, right? Like after this video, for your Pokemon cards, for educational and entertainment purposes only, put in limit buy orders for Fantom Pokemon cards, right? Just like maybe front run it, put it at 88 cents for your Pokemon cards, put limit buys in there for maybe, let's say 30% of what you want to buy a Fantom that you have currently sitting in Tether. Maybe, 70% of it, do whatever, but I would reserve 30% for a patient play, because if it's 1 in 3 times that something like a patient play pays out and you save 30% of what you wanted to spend, it's going to be it's over time, those gains are going to be bigger than your impatient plays. They might be on par, but it's different strategies. So for when your impatience doesn't pay off, which a lot of times it does. If you're in a raging bull market, you should, acting fast, not waiting, all that kind of stuff, it works out better, right? Because things are moving up. So you might as well not wait as they move up longer. So a lot of times impatient play, what I can label impatient plays, are very profitable in upward moves. So when things are moving up like they are clearly right now, you just, instead of being like full on always waiting for a dip, in this one setup here, I would reserve a portion, a decent portion of my flat position, which is a stable coin, dollars or whatever. If you're trying to buy Fantom, I would, even if you think this is unrealistic, I mean, I think it's got a 33% chance, and that could really pay off. I mean, just imagine like buying it down here, right? At around 87 cents. So, and I'm sitting here telling you, a price movement between origin lines, it does that a lot. If it flies past, a lot of times it comes down to check it. And when it comes down to check, sometimes it dips under. And then you have this, this is your previous, zone of, I guess, liquidity. And price is going to be attracted, or it's a local high, and price in a dip is going to be attracted to retest that local high before marching up. So that's my low end price target, is 87 cents. I'm trying to figure out in my head right now, is this my midterm target, or is this my upper end target? Ignoring this wick from the flash crash. Honestly, this is going to be my upper end target. You just want on 1,000% run. Honestly, this has a huge chance of happening. And again, if you haven't seen this rule of thumb play out, prepare to be amazed. And my community members who we've talked about this because you didn't believe it, and that's why you're now a community member. When I talked about stuff, leave a comment. Try to help these new viewers with your comments. Even if it takes you 2 minutes, I mean, that 2 minutes of selfless behavior, so people could scroll through and really kind of live vicariously through what you're saying, because it's hard to believe. I can sit here all day, and if y'all can make some comments on the idea of like patient plays, or the rule of thumb, if you go over 1,000%, you're going to drop 60%, and it just works, even though it was unbelievable the first time you but everything did it right. So leave a comment, try to help some folks out, because it can really help somebody in their crypto journey, as opposed to being washed out. So you could really help somebody out with 2 minutes of time investment. And then, and if you're new, go down and scroll through the messages. Unless, you're one of the first people here, there's not going to be much there. DOGECOIN. Honestly, I see DOGECOIN closing above this trend line. So even though you wick down below it, oh, look at this. Look at that. Kablam. Kablam. Huh. That's weird. I bet Doge closes today above 25 cents. 25.2 cents. I bet it closes above that, right at or above that line. So not even DOGECOIN is messing up its higher low structure. You might consider this a higher low, but I would say in the bouncy bounce, just imagine it as a bouncy ball. Instead of the bouncy ball going like this, okay, think of the bouncy ball hitting the floor, and it's not the floor until here, right? So this is just like it hit a fly in the air, kind of bounced off the fly, and then came back down and hit the floor. This is the true support. So honestly, DOGECOIN is looking perfectly healthy, and this goes along the lines with my Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis that I think this is going to be bought up. This could be massively bullish. DOGECOIN, so gotta get down to get up. DOGECOIN came down quickly to hit that line, and I think it can make a higher local high, break this, rather quickly. I could see DOGECOIN on a moderate scale, even though I think the market's about ready to get hot, folks, but I bet it gets hot right away again. So for one most likely, I don't know if this is going to be the most likely. I got to work through this, but one very likely way that DOGECOIN will behave in price action will be behaving between in this triangle here. So it might fill out a lot of trading below this without breaking out, but also not breaking this trend line. And you might fill this space out, get a breakout. So you might not break out until early October. So this guess right here has Dogecoin staying under 35 cents until early October. So I will write that in there. Why did I capitalize triangle? Or whatever, just early October. What did I say, 35 cents? I would say this is, I don't know, this might be by far the most probable way it moves. Another way that Dogecoin might move is in a horizontal again. And again, like this might be getting boring for you, but like this is how price moves, right? So I would say not all the way up. I would say high point here, low point. Dogecoin, but that would be breaking that structure. Actually, I don't think this is likely. I don't think it's going to play down below 23 cents. It might actually tighten up its range. So, okay, they might do this. And that would have it breaking out earlier. I don't know. Dogecoin might, I think another way that I'm seeing it could move is that it not only recovers really soon, but gets back above 35, which honestly might end up being the triangle. But instead of totally filling out that triangle that I had drawn, it looks like once it closes a candle above this, the next daily candle will just go kablam. That's how I'm seeing it. So let me draw this out. So if this horizontal stays good and you just have price action go boom, kaboom, kaboom, you know, just bouncing around between here, and you have it bouncing around until it, you know, maybe smashes into this line, right? So it can't go bounce around too much. So this is kind of like the triangle, but more tightly knit. And then once one day closes above that box, then boom. Maybe not up to, actually maybe up to 40 cents. So that would be my second, and it might only need one daily closure above $31.45. I think that might be the second most likely way, but I think that's not the first likely way, because I think Dogecoin will respect this as opposed to blowing through this upon closing above here. I think a breakout out of the triangle would be more likely to get it above here, but it could just be a closure above here. I would say that's the second most likely. And this is all still within the context that Bitcoin recovers. A third way, honestly, there aren't a whole lot of ways that Dogecoin can move. It's kind of trapped. I'm just going to give you top two. I'm pretty confident one of those is going to play out. And I would guess this one. Yeah, that's what I got for Dogecoin. So again, if you like what you saw, go ahead and stop, drop, and do what the sign says behind me. Again, it's really going to help me help a lot of other people within their crypto journeys, similar to how I'm asking you to leave a comment, even though that's kind of like e-begging, help the algo. I totally get it. But on the comment side, I really do mean it. It's hard to believe it's hard to believe a 60% drop after 1,000% move, and I know a lot of my community members know it. So even if you're a community member, don't comment on YouTube much. Just let somebody know what that was like for you, the moment of disbelief versus, oh shit, it actually happened. Exactly per, you know, cosasverdes rule of thumb here. Like it's a big rule of thumb and it works. So if you can leave me that, but I'm trying to be here to with these types of videos, Solana, Fantom, and Dogecoin, three of the, you know, more of the hypey coins. So these are kind of my my clickbait videos. However, within my clickbait videos to get viewers who I typically don't attract, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I want to be very honest with you, but I want to truly give you a real analysis to actually help you. Because even though you might not play small alts like me and my community do heavily, that's fine. And just keep using free YouTube content. But I really want to help the group of people within these 3 coins that might be most subject to FOMOing in and not knowing what you're doing while you're clicking. Because these 3 coins are getting a ton of exposure. So yeah, these might be my clickbait videos, but I swear these clickbait videos might actually help me help the biggest audience possible. So I'm going to keep doing it. But that is my actual reason, because I think it's the biggest, even though it's not the audience I typically want, attract to my community. It's still the biggest audience for my true north, is to help people in their crypto journey not to get screwed. And folks who would be attracted to this video, I'm telling you, you are the most susceptible to getting your ass handed to you in a downturn. You are. If you're watching this video as a new viewer, you are. If you're following these coins, it's because you're looking at the only top coins. Those are the ones who get baited in. You get baited in by YouTubers just being permabulls and only talking about like theta after it went on a 5,000% screamer, and then 3 weeks later, bam, 70% down. That's how it happens. So just like a psycho analysis for you, if you're a new viewer here, you are the most susceptible group. So you might want to tune into my clickbait videos and watch the last one if you haven't, and hit like and subscribe. Help me help you. We'll see you later.